his guild, we'll call it medallion, onto the floor in front of him, and just asks if he's Alchemist Jost.
He kind of like he squints at you, he peers at you, kind of leans in really close. He has like a balding head, and kind of like a deeply wrinkled face. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm Jost." And he's rubbing his hip still. He's like, "Who sent you? What are you looking for?"
So I sit down next to him and just explain the entire situation and how our motley crew met and what we're trying to accomplish. The rumor of a stone that could potentially control the flow of life and death, and try to make the connections there and ask if he knows anything about that.
He's like,
And whilst he's doing this, I run up immediately and show him my dead bugs and freak out.
He takes the bugs very interestedly. He's like, yes, nasty business. We had a thing like this at the laboratory, the research laboratory, and before these ruffians, these scoundrels burned it down. It was actually taken. It was a fellow student, one of my own, took it and ran off with it. And then shortly thereafter, the whole place burned down. And then he kind of like looks a little suspicious. He's like, and I don't believe in coincidences.
All right. So I asked him for the student's name and if he has any leads to where we should search for this guy.
He's like, Jessica. His name was Jessica, the damned fool. I'm not sure where he would have ran to.
Or Jessica.
Just Jessica.
Jessica.
He's like, the damn fool. He ran off. He took it, and he's gone. And I don't know. I don't keep tabs on all of my students. I don't know their day-to-day lives as they flit about and mingle. So I'm not sure where he would have went. I'm not sure what his proclivities are, but he's sure not at the university anymore. I can tell you that. And then he's looking at the dead bug, and he's like, "Where did you find these?"
I don't know where I found them. With Lindsay. With Dominique. There was an area of the forest that was dark and dying, and everything around was just dying. We found mammals and birds, and I buried them, and these were what I could carry, and they are my proof of the decay in the forest.
He kind of like crosses his arms, and he's like, yes, the stone... The stone, what it does is it manipulates life and death, but it only seems to go one way. It never quite worked the way we intended. It would take the life of creatures, sometimes even the one using it. It would sap their strength, and it would imbue it into a dead creature and rise it from the grave. But it wasn't quite alive, and we could never figure out bringing it back. It would always come back twisted and wrong.
Zombies.
He's like, that's superstition. Just twisted and wrong. So we're a man of science here.
Sure you are.
He's like, in Dungeons and Dragons, yes, it's a very... But he's like,
It's all imaginary.
I look at him and then look at the cave, the mouth, whatever that is, and I ask the group, what is more important, saving the forest right now or going to see what's in this hole?
Maybe what's in the hole could save the forest.
Well, then I ask the old man if he has any idea of the place where we are, what it is or where it is, if it could be of any use.
He kind of like looks around and he's like looking at this place. He's like, I don't know where the blast we are. But one of the other students is like kind of very frantically, like she's out. She has like a little notepad from her pocket. She's kind of like looking at the statue. She actually ran to the other room where you saw the kind of like etched into the wall battle. It was like a mural etched into the wall of a side of knights and a side of kind of like twisted shapes that seem to like come into battle. And she's like scribbling like frantically. And she comes back as she's like running around, and she's like, "This is the lost tomb of the Delian Order." She's like, "I've studied it. then in our history classes, it's magnificent. It's amazing how you've opened it. You found it.
Yeah, we're good.
People that these are the people that were like, these are the students and the other guy that was in the same place, like that Brielle and Lower.
Yeah. So it's the old man alchemist, Joss, that you were looking for, and then it was the two additional students. They're much younger. They seem to be kind of apprentices, students. Their robes are kind of a different color, marking them as kind of a lesser rank. And she kind of starts to recite to you, and it almost sounds like she's reading from a textbook. She starts to tell you guys about the brief history of the Delian Order. Was an order of knights sworn to fight chaos and uphold law. Not just any kingdom's law, but the very fundamental nature of order against the forces of chaos and disorder.
That's insane.
And yes,
I really fast. Shane, I roll to see if Lindsay and I found food.
Actually, I rolled that for you guys. So the way we do food is whenever you guys eat, whenever you guys have a night, I roll a 12-sided die. It represents how much food you have. And depending on where you are, I set a difficulty of you got to beat. So I set a 5 here. You're in a cave. So if you beat the 5, it's assumed that you guys have enough food. If you roll lower than the 5, your dice shrinks to a 10-sided. It's because that's you're eating your food and shrinking your rations. And if you're
die.
Yeah, so if we're in the forest or something, and it's Brielle or Dominique are very good at just kind of they're very accustomed to the woods, I'd set the difficulty much lower to a 2 or a 3. And then that represents them you didn't need to eat your food because they scavenged some berries or edible things. And if you guys shrink your dice low enough, you might need to go on a hunting trip or something to try to or find food by it or something, and that'll bring your dice back. So you guys found food, yeah. So you're able to. Brielle kind of she still has some of her magic berries, but she brought enough of roots and nonsense. Castamere remembered he's very resourceful.
Share, though.
Yeah, and then Castamere had some jerky. I don't know what Jakuba.
I love my food.
Jakuba's fine because there's a bunch of goblin around. And actually, side note,
the goblins have to eat too. It might be maggoty bread.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Yeah, you guys find food kind of in the cave.
Bread.
It's not super appetizing, but it's not rotten. They seem to eat pretty well. Scavenging. It was actually.
You spread them, and it's like peanut butter.
There we go. There was rats on a spit in the center room that smelled of goblin. There was rats on a spit that you guys kind of interrupted their dinner. But interesting note, Dominique, because you don't need to sleep, but you need to enter your trance. So you left with only the squirrel guarding. And the squirrel noticed one of the goblins that was seemingly dead open one little eye and get up and scurry out.
Uh-oh.
And,
wait,
and
I know that, though? Does Dominique know that?
The squirrel knows that.
He'll tell you when you talk
The squirrel told me.
Yeah, the squirrel. So anyone who is accustomed, so the squirrel relays that. Let me check this really quick, my notes. Let's see. I have a cool name for the order, and I wrote it down in the notes, but I have to find it really quick. My notes are disorganized chaos.
So your notes need that order of guarding.
They do, I know. I'm the force of chaos that they fight against. I think it was like Augustine Saxton. It was some cool Roman sounding name. So the leader of the order, the statue depicts Augustine Saxton, the leader of the Delian Order. And you spoke his oath, the oath, and it moved to the side. So yeah, that's what the student relays to you, kind of the brief history of these guys. And she's still kind of frantically, it's quite a discovery, she's trying to record it.
Why is she just now talking to us about this?
You guys asked about it. You asked the old man if he knew anything. He didn't really know. He didn't care. It doesn't pertain to his very specific area of study. But one of the students was a history major, pretty much, and she's freaking out about it.
Has anybody given the old man something to eat? Maybe he's hangry.
Do you guys share your food with him?
He can eat my rat.
Yeah, you can have my peanut butter maggot packet.
Peanut butter maggots. So you guys share your terrible, terrible food with him, and his mood does not improve.
Shane, I walk over to the lady that knows things, and I ask her if there's money down there.
She's like, who knows what's down there? It's not been opened in centuries.
I think we need to go.
After conferring with my squirrel, I say that I feel like we should maybe we don't have to keep a lookout above, at the top of the entrance, but we probably should be very aware of what is happening behind us as well as in front of us.
So what I'll do, since I'm the rogue of the group, I will scout ahead. So I'll venture down there first, very, very carefully, and then if I see trouble, I'll run back and tell everyone.
Do you bring a light source? It's very dark.
Dude, we should have stopped at that store.
Well, for this one, we're just gonna kind of I didn't want to go through a list of all these crazy items. So if there's a common item that we can assume your characters would reasonably take, then we'll just be like, okay, you can have it. And if it's an item that's a little more niche or rare, I'll probably let you roll to see oh, my character would have thought to have this. So instead of going through a giant list and being having you guys sort through it and pick this, we'll assume one of you has a torch. So Castamere definitely is resourceful, and he would have brought a torch to this situation.
Does my staff light up if I use Druidcraft?
So you actually, if you want to use Druidcraft, you'll notice a couple of torches that aren't lit, kind of leading down, and you would be able to light those torches with Druidcraft.
Okay, I'll do that.
So Brielle kind of snaps her fingers, and some of the torches kind of like street lamps turning on, pop, pop, pop. Some of the torches flicker on as they go down, and you see this narrowing staircase just descending, and it looks well made. It is old and dusty and cobwebbed, but it looks very sturdy and put together as it descends down.
Onward,
I take a step down.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna grab one of these torches, and so how do we do this? Do I roll for stealth and perception while I'm trying to sneak in and be observant?
So we're gonna say there's some.
Do you want my squirrel friend to follow you?
You're good. The squirrel is your friend, but it is not a mate. So you're gonna have to persuade the squirrel to do things it does not want to do. It didn't mind hanging out for some berries, just kind of keeping an eye out on things, but descending into some weird place, it might be a little sketched out. And then, Castamere, I think the way is, later on I want to do this thing. I have you guys roll beforehand and have a little note card for each of you with rolls, and then I have you roll to see which roll. It's a random set of numbers that you guys have previously rolled, so you don't know what you roll for stealth. I think it's more fun that way. So for now, I'm going to roll your stealth, so you don't know if you're sneaking well or not. So you just tell me what your stealth modifier is.
It is 5. Wait.
Oh, is it 5?
Oh, what is that? Would that be in the total column in the green under skills?
Yeah, I think it's the green. That's the bonus you get for stealth.
Okay, yeah. So it's
bonus is 5. All right. So I rolled on my screen. So you start to descend down.
Okay, and so I'm moving very carefully, and I'm trying to keep an eye out for everything. So I should probably also roll for perception just to kind of search the general area once I get beyond the side of the opening.
That might be a thing on the secret rolls, but for now we'll let you roll because players like rolling dice. So, but later on we'll have it. I'll show you how I do the system for secret rolls. But go ahead and roll your perception. Ooh. So I moved. I think I've done it right. I moved you to a new screen for you guys. So as you descend, you kind of see the torches stop at the footsteps, and you can see the light kind of shine out and then dim and then go dark, and it shows you kind of what definitely seems like a tomb, as you see kind of lines of sarcophagi, kind of the rows of them coming, and you start to. The light dims ahead of you. You can bring out your personal torch if you want to.
Wait, the screen you moved us to is flooded. Is this just an example, or are we flooded?
No, I didn't draw it. It's just to give you an atmosphere.
Wet.
Yeah. So on Roll20, it's just kind of like a picture of a cool tomb. I was looking up cool fantasy tombs to kind of help paint the picture a little bit. So it doesn't look exactly like that. That's more of just an atmospheric vibe.
Oh, dang.
I don't actually see like those robed figures, right?
No. No. So I was just trying to look up like cool fantasy tomb art. When I do something like this, I'm not going to be able to find something that specifically is exactly, just more of a vibe thing. Instead of just the brown background, kind of to give you like a little, just imagine, some visual aid. So yeah, as do you pull out your personal torch?
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the torch.
So as you kind of like light your own personal torch, the kind of sphere of sight around you extends out, and you see like the sarcophagi kind of starting to line. I don't know if that's the right plural word for it. Sarcophaguses. So it starts to line kind of like rows and rows, and it seems to be segmented. And there's a path that you're kind of following down, and they extend probably like 4 deep in each direction, and you see like 3 rows of them as you're kind of like walking down. And you see like the tall pillared, like just support columns, kind of like some deep arches. And as you go, there's a raised dais, kind of like an additional stair as you're kind of like going forward. And you see a pedestal with a sword stuck into it.
Okay. So I'm going to investigate this pedestal.
Okay. Do your investigation check, or investigation. Okay, so you definitely see the sword kind of like stuck. The sword is kind of like it seems. Everything else is dusty. Everything else has like cobwebs. The sword seems almost pristine, as it's like kind of stuck Arthurian style into this raised pedestal. It has like a bright, unmarred blade with a ornate hilt of kind of like gold filigree, and then a handle with a jeweled pommel at the end of it. And as you look around, you don't seem to see any distinct or obvious signs of traps or anything, just the blade in the stone.
Okay. All right. So, everything looks clear. So I move back up to the party and just kind of share all of that information with them. So now they know what I have seen and if the way looks clear as far as I can tell. So I suggest that we all move down there and investigate a little bit further.
Okay, so you run up and relay Castamere kind of quietly. You don't hear him coming. You just kind of like he appears out of the entranceway and relays to you what he's seen. The coffin sarcophagus is this like the stone sarcophagus is the pedestal and the sword. So what do you guys do?
Make a perception roll to see if that's really Castamere.
Okay.
I don't trust anything coming out of that game.
Do an insight, Cody. Do an insight check. That's what it is.
Okay.
Insight check is how you determine someone's motives, or how you kind of like judge them, eye them up, see if they give you a bad vibe.
Smells like him.
He is inscrutable. Yeah, you're like looking at him. He's unreadable. He's like a perfect poker face.
All right.
But he talked about a dual sword, so you know.
What do you say, Jacoba?
I start walking down.
All right. Anyone follow him?
I'll go.
Yeah, I'm going as well.
Okay. Seems like everyone kind of like descends down, and you see it just as Castamere described it. You see rows of. You probably would count 12 like sarcophaguses with like a central one next to the dais that is raised. And then the sword stuck in the stone.
Gosh dang it. No one touch that sword. Mummies are gonna come popping out immediately.
I would say no one
start
touch
walking towards
anything.
the sword.
Yeah.
What's that, Jakuba?
Watch where you step.
I start walking towards the sword.
All right, you reach the sword.
I tackle him.
She tackles my ankle.
Bite your ankle.
if she actually if she's trying to restrain you, we would do like a grapple check to kind of like see if she's able to restrain you.
I'm gonna bite his ankle. See how much I can bite.
Shane, can I do like a survival roll? Is to check my feel out the surroundings.
That's not a survival check.
On your ankle?
Can we do a roll for the chick that's with us to see if she can read any of the inscriptions on the tombs?
You could probably bring her down there. So yeah,
We leave her up there?
yeah, like she's up there as you run back up because she's up there still, kind of like almost. She's like studying the stonework of each individual step, fascinated at like the history in each. Like she's like, oh, this is
Look at their graves.
This is craftsmanship from the 14th century. And she's going on about that. So as you kind of grab her and like lead her down, she's just kind of amazed and wondered by all of them, and she's like, oh, this must be their final resting place, the Delian Order. And she's going and reading like the inscriptions and reciting odd sounding names from each of them.
She's starstruck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's having, this is awesome for her. This is like, this is a big moment for her career.
So I ask her if it seems like there's anything that could trigger some kind of horrible response.
Okay, I'm gonna have her roll a religion
She's
check.
got gas. She's got really bad
Oh,
gas.
It's a religion check, and is anyone else proficient in religion? Did they pick religion as one of their skills? If some of you have skills to still put, you can decide, like, religion in the game is like you can know about like the different religions of the cultures, you kind of like know their practices, or if a creature might pertain to some different kind of belief, whether it's like celestial or fiendish in origin, you can kind of determine. That helps you. He's still up there. He didn't descend. He doesn't like stairs.
At least in my background, I have like an obsession with night and the moon and the stars, but that doesn't put me in a religion. Like, at least to my own awareness, I'm not part of a religion. I'm just obsessed with the moon and the stars.
If you put religion as one of your things, I can kind of like. You might not know about the Delian Order itself, but you might be able to kind of connect the different. Kind of understand the tenets of their faith. I'm gonna allow like. So, who's proficient in the investigations religion? So investigation, religion, those are I think the two or history. Those are the three skills if anyone's proficient in those.
Well, I'm proficient in investigation. I've got bonus 3.
Does anyone else want to be good at history or religion? I think some of you have unpicked skills, so this is kind of like we're kind of picking as we go.
I can be good at religion.
Okay, so then, let's see, Veruca, as she's the kind of like a teller of tales, she travels a lot. She's heard many tales. She knows many myths and stories and legends and, from all different cultures all over the world that she's kind of traveled and seen. I'm going to allow both of you to roll together, and we'll do like kind of a joint check on this. And so, Veruca, I'll roll yours. So it's your... Okay, so it goes off of your intelligence, so +1. So we get +3. I think this is a wisdom, so +4. Yeah, you rolled a 19 on that one. And then Castamir, the 14 with that one. So as you guys kind of are discussing the different aspects of what you've seen, you kind of connect you come to an understanding of the tenets of faith of the Delian Order, combined with the history that I think her name was Myrna, the student, has given to you. You kind of deduce, as you're discussing amongst yourselves, that the Delian Order seem to be a force for lawful good as an opposition against chaotic evil, and they accepted people into their ranks based upon a judgment of their character.
That doesn't help if we touch the swords if they're going to come alive or not.
I mean, that's what you know. You've determined that's what the Delian Order, their purpose, their tenets, their kind of like a whole ethos.
I mean, I think I know where you're going with this, but I don't want to be meta. So,
Meta wouldn't be your character, because you and Veruca discussing together. So this would be your character having an idea. So it's not meta knowledge if it's knowledge of in-game things.
So what do you think?
Well, obviously, this sword is some kind of test. Definitely, this is definitely some kind of test. So anybody that's chaotic probably should
Strength test?
Please, God,
No,
don't.
one who shouldn't touch it.
I'm eyeing the sword like I really want to try to pull it out.
Shillelagh.
I'm good with Shillelagh. I don't need a jeweled sword.
Well, which one of us is the most, I don't know, closest to what this order is about?
Lawful good. We don't know our alliances yet.
So the alignments are kind of, they're more, because there's like lawful good, neutral evil, all that stuff. It's more of just going off of your character. Like it's not like you picked your character's alignment. It's like how does the alignment kind of is a label that we describe your character's beliefs and actions.
Well, last time we talked, you said I was chaotic something or other, so I should not touch the sword.
So lawful. So there's like, so the way alignments is there's good and evil, chaos and law. So it's like if your character can gotta be pulled along that axis. So it's like Brielle, I think we described as chaotic good. Like she doesn't give a crap about laws or order. Like the natural order of things in nature is very chaotic, and so she's all about she'll skirt the law. She'll like abandon tradition so long as it accomplishes good in her eyes. Whereas like a lawful person, like it might not be just like the country's laws or like the strict code, but they live to a code of honor.
Are any of us lawful?
I would say maybe.
I would think Dominique might be.
Yeah, I would say. I think
Jakuba, you can go back to sleep. We know you aren't.
Jakuba is a saint in his culture. Jakuba's a hero of his people.
Yeah, we don't have any more of your
Jakuba has
people.
slain many a foe.
Yes, you're big and powerful.
Yeah,
Jakuba has bathed in blood of enemies.
Yeah, enemies. He's good, evil, as long as there's coin.
Yes, but
He's
enemies are
brave.
subjective, Jakuba.
Yeah, I think so. I think
I look a
Dominique
little put
should
out.
be the one.
Okay, so what do you do, Dominique?
He's like, I don't want to do
Can I
this.
like? I think that I want to. Can I check? Can I walk up to the sword? Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up to it.
Okay, so you step up. You step up to the sword, and like as you step up to the dais, there's kind of like a sense of, like the noise of the group chattering behind you kind of like fades a little bit, almost as if you walked into a little bit of a bubble. Like things kind of quiet down as you stand next to the sword.
Something's going on.
Oh!
So what do you do?
Poke.
I look back to the group with sort of this, like, just to watch them, like, sort of talking, I guess, and then, like...
Go on.
I mean, we can't tell anything's different, right? Just she can?
it's a sense of feeling that she had. Yeah, as she steps up to it. It's not like a distinct bubble. It's not like there was a thing you saw. It's just almost a feeling that overcomes you.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. Kind of like I feel like the time has slowed down when it's closer to the sword. So I look back to the group one last time, and then can I just like
I feel like the longer you wait, Jakuba's eventually just gonna run. There's like a ticking timer on Jakuba just running up and grabbing
If
the
Tiny
sword.
Lady does not pull sword out, I will next.
Better try the sword.
okay. All right, so Dominique, I try to pull the sword
One
out.
Mississippi.
So
one
as
Mississippi.
your hand grips the hilt of the sword, you hear this voice kind of like ring in your head and asks, "Why do you fight?"
Woo! Holy shit, that's so cool.
How'd she do that? Did it say, why do you fight?
Dominique.
Why do you fight?
Are you fighting, Dominique? Or are you fighting against just ripping that sword out?
Am I watching her like touch the sword?
She's grabbing the sword. You don't hear the voice. The rest I did it for effect, but instead of pulling her to a side thing, which I might later, we have a secret channel of secrets for individual moments. But
What are you waiting for? Pull the sword out.
yeah, so it's asking you, Dominique. Gut check. It's just like a gut check. Almost like you're not really considering too much. It's just, why does Dominique fight? What is her motivation for violence?
Is this something that I have to answer? Like
It's
is
kind of,
this,
yeah, like what would
something
Dominique?
that
What would Dominique?
there, and I would just think about it. I mean, the voice is in my head, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it, talking to the voice.
But it's like a gut check, so it's almost like it's not like a sit and ponder. Like, does Dominique fight for a sense of justice? Does she fight for her own gain? Does she fight for money? Does she fight for power?
I feel like this question, though, isn't going to be something that Dominique would answer. It would
It's
be
almost-
something that
it's not
she
something
thinks
you would
about the rest of her life.
It's
Oh.
not something that you
Okay.
have to answer. Like, you don't have to answer verbally, but like it'd be something like it would say like, "Why do you fight?" and it would know like why you fight. Like it would know.
Right.
So I'm asking you, Lindsay, does Dominique like her almost like a little inner check of Dominique? What is her?
Like I would fight for like the forest and for the animals and like the well-being of all little creatures, but I don't care about humanity.
And that's why she's not touching the sword.
Dominique? Dominique? Sword?
You know what?
Yeah.
I hear you. I want all this to go down in slow motion, so I'm gonna like slowly back into the shadows to kind of get ready. I've got that advantage.
Is this happening in real time? Is she just staring at the sword?
I'm assuming no. I will say no.
Okay.
I don't want to put her on the spot here, but it's like, yeah.
Dominique
I
was on
Not
his
known for
way.
his patience.
I try to pull at the sword.
Do you swear to uphold all that is good and all that is just in your pursuit?
Say it again.
Do you swear to uphold all that is good and all that is just?
Yep, the end drops out.
Yeah, you keep breaking
Yeah,
out.
drops out then.
I keep
Yeah.
What happens?
It says, you keep saying,
We
"Do
got
you swear
you.
to
Like
uphold?"
a second extra longer.
Hold on. I'll try it again.
It's a blank check. It's a blank
Everybody
check.
quiet.
Put in whatever you want.
All right. So, do you swear to uphold all that is good and all that is just? I keep making out.
Hold and it goes
I keep
blank.
seeing it.
You
Why is-
swear to uphold.
Yeah.
God is having technical difficulties.
All right, I fixed it here. My hotkey doesn't work. All right, Dominique. Do you swear to uphold all that is good and all that is just? Am I so busting out here?
Wait, I can ask.
At the same
Do
moment.
you swear to uphold? And that's all I'm hearing.
All right. Well, I guess the thing doesn't
She's
work.
going insane. Like she's like,
My cool $20 program for this awesome moment does not work. Huh? She's.
How about I say, do you swear to uphold, and then you finish it off, okay? Dominique, do you swear to uphold?
All that is good and all that is just.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I had to do it separate. I'll figure that shit out later. I don't know why.
I feel like Dominique needs to roll for a sanity check now to be safe.
All that is good and all that is just, Dominique.
What happens if
I put my hand over my heart
Okay.
and I swear.
Are you lying to it?
What?
Are you lying or are you being honest? Does Dominique truly
No,
believe?
Dominique puts this upon herself as like some sort of goal.
All right. So then, as you like, the voice echoes in your head, sounding super cool, but I want
But
your
you're
voice
cutting
change.
out, Shane.
I'm still cutting out.
Take off your God voice.
right?
I did take it out. Oh, I didn't take
Oh,
it out.
Yeah,
Oh
No, you-
shit. Okay.
There you go.
Oops. I guess my awesome. Damn, that was $20. I'll have to figure that.
It's really
All right.
cool if you get it to work.
If I can get it to work, right? All right. So Dominique, as you swear, like the voice echoes again, your word is accepted, and you pull the blade free from the stone, and there's a brief kind of like flash of light that illuminates the rest of the dusty tombs, and then for a moment you can see it, like them all. They kind of fade back and they stay still and silent. And yeah, you got a cool sword now, Lindsay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you're not sure as the way magic items work is you're not entirely sure. Like you definitely know there's some juice to it. It's magical, but you don't know the specific properties until you try them out yourself or until you find someone who is able to identify it for you.
I might know where it came from.
Ooh, I go over to that student. Okay, so I take the sword and I run over to that student and I talk with her about it.
Okay.
Just like have her examine it.
She like looks over. She's like looking at it, and she's very excited. And she's like, "How much do you want for it?" She's like, "This item, it's priceless. It belongs in a museum."
Yeah.
If it's
Your
right,
museum just burned down, chick. You ain't got a museum to put it
We
in
will
right
construct a new museum. All will come from all over the land.
So like snappy.
talk to me when it's built.
And she's like, and then Joss kind of pushes her like, get this fanatic out of here. I can take a look at this little bauble of yours, this sword thing. 30 gold. If you give me 30 gold, I'll identify it for you.
I tear it away from them and I'm like, you both have no honor.
That is an outrageous price.
Josh kind of shrugs. He's like, it is what it is. It's like, he's like, can you do it?
I
me see
think I
it.
have some information on it.
Let me see. Bard. Because it's a specific thing. Identify.
But it's religion, you know.
Meanwhile, I'm playing with a spider I found in the corner.
Okay. Yeah. Bards and wizards are the only classes that can learn this. So if you want to, as one of the spells for your level 2, you can pick Identify Veruca if you want to be able to. And so Veruca now, if she wants to choose the spell, because we haven't gone over her list of spells, so we're kind of like on the fly building her character. So if she wants to, it's a choice because you get other spells that kind of limits your choices. But if you want the ability to identify magical items, that would be a choice for one of your spells. if you want to choose that, Veruca.
It stays that way.
You can switch it as you level up. Like next level, maybe you can swap your spells out.
It would be helpful. For now, I will use that spell.
Okay, so as you pick it, you actually pull out from the back pocket. It's a beautiful pearl that you've carried around. It's quite a bit of worth quite a bit of money, and you kind of like take the sword and are.
You always got props. I want props.
I need props. I know. I was gonna get there's a Halloween store that just opened up, and I'm gonna get like a freaking robe and a hood and all this.
I have props because I own so much.
Oh, I'll
stuff.
put my elf ears
Knickknacks
on.
and baubles. Yeah, let's get really into it. I'm gonna go all out.
There's my pearl.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my band-aids on, my elf ears.
So Veruca's like, and yeah. So it takes a good while. It takes a good amount of time. Probably everyone's kind of like watching for almost an hour. Everyone's kind of like hanging out, yawning as she's doing this whole elaborate ritual, waving her little bauble, her little pearl. Yeah, Jakuba's almost asleep again. But then at the end of it, she just like there's a eureka moment, and she comes to you, and
I got it.
Veruca, you know it is called the Sword of Sworn Truth, and so long as the wielder is attuned to it, they cannot lie. It has +1 damage to all rolls, and you can roll one of your. You're able to touch someone with the hilt of it, and then cast it Cure Wounds, and it has 3 charges before a long rest.
But with that, it also means that everybody else is going to want to take it.
Yeah.
So now you got to protect it because you've got like Jumanji type people. You know? Not
It's
that
a long sword.
No, I was just thinking that like Jakuba is another person that would have never really lied. Like, but Dominique, I don't think would lie either.
Jakuba.
Jakuba wouldn't lie, but he's not just and good.
But he'd eat it.
Yeah. Who says? From whose perspective?
Yeah, Jakuba.
Says, I'm not lying. I'm going to eat.
Jakuba is a saint of his people.
He has an ethical debate with the sword on the subjective morality.
The problem, Jakuba, is we aren't your people.
All right, yeah. So the sword accepts. And it almost seems to have a bit of a will to where it's very straightforward. It's protection of the weak and innocent, vengeance against the cruel and unjust.
It's like the anti-ring.
Yeah, so you just got it. You can add it to your inventory, Lindsay. You have to attune to it. There's a whole mechanic for that, but it's just basically binds it to you, and you, like, as long as you're bound to it, you cannot speak lies as long as you have it on.
So if she lies, it leaves her?
I don't know what happens if she lies.
She gets damaged.
Rude.
That's so cool.
All right, so
I wish I pulled it out.
Does Jakuba know that she can't lie now?
you don't
No.
So that part is almost so Veruca.
What you had for breakfast?
It's like that movie. It's like a liar with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, well, you guys, you've left the tomb. Actually, yeah. So you have the sword. What do you guys do? Like, Dominique has the sword.
Let's get out of here.
Do you just leave, or do you look around further?
I look around. Whoa. I came in here for money. I was told there might be money down here.
So,
I look around.
do an investigation check, Jakuba.
I am collecting real sketchy, unknown mushrooms because they've been growing in the dark for forever, and I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm collecting them.
All right. While we do Jakuba's little thing, I have you roll a nature check really quick, Brielle. Jakuba, you actually, as you're searching around, you find what seems to be golden offerings on all of these, on like some of the tombs, and on the center, bigger one, it's a larger collection, almost like golden offering plates.
I start taking them.
Cool.
Oh man. You find you find a couple of useful mushrooms, so you can add 2 glowing mushrooms to your thingy. I made a whole cool thing with potion making, so we can maybe get into that later. But
To my inventory.
yeah. So Jakuba, as you start to just loot the tomb of the Order of the Knights.
Oh shit.
Trespasser!
So Dominique, you had started to leave. So is it just Jakuba that was back there looking? Is everyone else leaving? What's the I should have asked you before. So, Jakuba, what about anyone else? Who else was like kind of looking around or leaving?
I was very much still in the shadows, just watching everything. So,
All right, so you're still in the shadows. Yeah.
yes.
Oh, gross. Our dog just threw up.
Which one?
Nice.
Ponyo. And then Brielle, you were looking for the mushrooms, probably back at the entrance. So you two are near the entrance. Dominique, you were leaving. And then Jakuba, you start to grab. You guys each get, probably before things start happening, you get 3 golden offering plates each. That's that seem to be made of solid gold. And as you take them off of these sarcophagi, they start to slide open, and then with a resounding crack, they hit the stone floor. And the shambling remains of men dressed in ceremonial armor with skeletal faces, like, claw their way out of the tombs.
Way to go, Jakumba. You woke up.
Oh, you should have gotten out of there.
I say I'm just like Dominique might have made a pact with the sword, but I have done no such thing. I checked for any more golden plates.
There's 12 tombs. There's 12 tombs. There's 12 golden plates.
Guys are just.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out as soon as I see the skeletons and go up with Dominique.
I use my action surge. So I use action surge, so I get a bonus action, and I loot the place as I head on out of there.
Okay, so I'll say like as these tombs. So 2 zombies are in your way, they're crawling from their tombs. So on your way out, if you're trying to use your actions, more of them. That just seems to like every time, like every few seconds, more of them are kind of crawling out. So what are you trying to grab? How many are you trying to are you trying to get out, or are you trying to get? What's your focus?
Whatever closest golden plates are, I'm like running over there and I'm scooping them up as I'm running.
Opening another sarcophagus.
Yeah, like every time there's more that they've kind of disturbed. They all seem to be opening.
Yeah. I'll make the argument that zombies are slow.
All right, so as you pass by one of them, scooping up an offering plate, you grab them, and then as you kind of yank, you feel a tug back as the hand that reached out to grab a plate is gripped by skeletal fingers that have an unnatural strength. And
Can I do a strength check there?
yeah, do a strength check.
Jakuba.
What would that be?
Just strength. There's athletics strength.
Oh, strength save. Got it.
So, Veruca. Oh man. Oh man.
Wow.
So you're actually tugged backwards. You drop a couple of the plates, and then you feel another one grab your other hand, and you see more of them coming out. Jakuba is now grappled by these zombies.
Oh my gosh.
Do we know this yet?
What do you? You've heard at least a cracking sound. They don't seem to make any sounds themselves. They're silent except for the sound of kind of like shuffling feet and creaking bones. But the sound of the lids, the heavy stone lids cracking on the ground, you would have heard.
Yeah,
So, like,
sorry, I don't think there's such a thing as sexy zombies.
Oh, there are. Google it.
Wow. All right, so you all hear this. Jakuba, you are grappled by zombies. You are probably 3 rows of sarcophaguses from the exit, as more of them you're watching as they're opening up. Dominique, you are compelled not to act against the order.
Oh.
So what are the rest of you doing? Veruca, you are close by. Like, you were leaving before. Were you trying to loot plates as well, or? I should have asked these things before I told you the consequences.
No.
I know. You're like, no, I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
Next time I'll change my order of operations. So as Veruca is clearly seeing it though, as she was with Jakuba. So as she's leaving, she's seeing him kind of like more and more, kind of like grabbing and clambering onto him.
What do I have to offer him?
Castamere, as you were leaving, you would probably see it. Brielle, you were leaving. What do you have there? What were your spells there? I'm trying to think if you had spells.
Can I only insult one zombie at a time, or can I insult the whole group of them?
It's just one at a time for that special ability.
Now, if I use my entanglement spell that I just got, that would also entangle Cody, right? Or Jakuba.
I'm
Let's
already
see.
entangled. I am zombies deep entangled.
Well, I know, but like, you wouldn't be able to get free if
about
I
the
like
gold,
wrapped
man.
vines all around them. I don't think.
He would possibly be grabbed by them. He gets a chance to break free of them.
What are zombies afraid of?
I don't know.
Fire.
Can I
Cleric?
cast my fog spell?
Fire.
I would say that's not a harmful action, but I don't know. You can certainly try to do that.
Helpful either.
Evil intention.
If I
I'm
cast
gonna
the
shoot
fog,
entanglement at all the zombies in hopes of keeping them stuck inside their tombs, entangled into their tombs.
So as Brielle runs down, it's a 20-foot square starting from the point. So starting from Jakuba, you see creature near must succeed a strength saving throw. All right, Jakuba, make another strength saving throw. Brielle,
And do a good one this time.
yeah, Brielle runs down, and then I'm not sure you can describe how you cast, but vines start to spring up. Like, was it bad? I didn't see it. Oh my gosh!
Jakuba's gonna die.
So stupid. I have not one spell in this entire campaign that I'm a Goliath. I have not felt that at all.
I mean, that's rolls, dude. Man, that's good that you're disappointed in your character, because you very well might need to make a new one.
Because you might die.
All right, so let me roll for the boom, boom, boom. And these zombies are kicking your ass, Cody, and these strength saving throws. So as you see vines just kind of like crawling, like the little cracks of natural like roots and vines that were kind of encroaching on the tomb spring forth, and then Jakuba, they kind of wrap around him, and like some of the other zombies are restrained before they're able to get out of their sarcophagi, and the ones that are grappling onto him seem to not be restrained. They're able to like kind of break free. As the vines are trying to grit a hold, they just kind of slip off the bones and they can't quite get a grip as they're able to. Now they're closing in on Jakuba, and I'll say you get one more thing before I'm going to initiate a combat for Jakuba and the rest of you guys, depending on what you guys want to do here.
Does Jakuba have a hand can he move one of his hands a little bit?
I would say you have one of your hands. Like,
all right, so I throw him my torch.
I'm gonna see if I can go up to Jakuba and try to get him free and see if the zombies even want to touch me because I have the sword.
okay, so as
I'm
you
gonna say he dug his own grave and I tried to help him and stay at the top of the stairs.
I'm like, as I'm starting at zombies, I'm like, I shout to them, I'm like, put the plates back, put the plates back.
Let go of them.
Well, if Dominique is going to run up there to help, then I just give her the torch because I was the one with the torch.
all right, so Jakuba,
I give her the torch, and then I get my weapons out, just ready.
Jakuba,
I'll
what,
start putting back plates.
All right, so Jakuba, you're returning the plates.
I mean, I assume I'm like body slammed by zombies, but
I'll start with
my free arm starts to toss them back on top of the sarcophagus.
Like frisbeeing them back there. So as you
Circling.
as you drop these plates respectfully, you're respectfully frisbeeing them.
wow, how did you do that?
And Dominique, as you approach with the torch in one hand and the sword in the other, you see it's kind of like the Jakuba's putting these kind of like putting these plates back, and you see as the light and life starts to seem to drain from these zombies as they just kind of crumble. Some of them crumble. The ones restrained in their tombs kind of like just go back to rest. And the vines, you're still... Some of them, like the vines are kind of like pulling apart some of the skeletons. And Jakuba, you're still restrained by vines. But the unnatural grip of these creatures seems to loosen from you.
Somebody get me out of here.
Alright. You get to make a strength saving throw again, because each turn you can try to break through. And I really want to see if you roll below a freaking 10 again.
I'm so mad.
I'll let Jakuba, just for the sake of being cool.
Oh my god, there we go.
He crit. So as soon as the grip slackens, you just like break free.
Fine.
Just boom. Yeah, as soon as all the challenging parts are gone and you've lost your plates, you just like are ripping these kind of vines like.
I'm very embarrassed.
Jakuba leaves with some bruises around his arms and a deep blush on his face.
I look longingly back at the golden plates, and then with one last sigh, I'll walk out of the cave.
You leave empty-handed from, and Dominique, you still have the torch, and you leave the darkness of the tomb. And as you leave, the torches start to flicker out one by one, returning it to darkness.
Doesn't get any stupid sword.
I turn to the squirrel on my shoulder and I'm like, this is why people are stupid, and I hang out with you.
It responds, it's just like, yeah, people stupid. It like taps its head.
Jakuba,
And then I also pull out, and then I show the squirrel. I have a tiny. I have a. Well, not tiny. It's about this big, including legs. Spider, and I'm like, this is our new friend too. I collected him from the tomb.
She was a little tomb spider, kind of hanging out on her shoulder with a squirrel. And
So you took something from the tomb?
Yep.
I try to take something, and I get pinned by zombies.
because you're taking the cold.
yeah, I'd say the spider doesn't quite fit. So as you leave, and you actually, Jakuba, you notice one of the grips, like it hurt almost like a searing bruise. One of the grips, you look up and it's like a finger mark around your arm, branding you, like a deep scarring.
Ooh, you gained a scar. That's cool.
It's gonna be a problem later.
Branding you as a thief.
No, that's not cool. Well, I don't know. Can a zombie make a judgment call on whatever it is Jumanji is?
It doesn't care what he was, it just cared that it was taking what was not his. And so
You can't steal from zombies.
and as you actually leave, you see kind of the strewn corpses of all these goblins that you almost forgot about. Like as you're kind of like leaving the tomb, kind of. The students are helping Joss kind of like hobble as he's holding his hip.
I did forget about the students.
yeah.
I didn't forget about escaped zombie or goblin. Ooh.
Did the students and what's his face all witness Lindsay taking the sword and the zombies coming alive and such? Or were they?
One of the students was down with you, and she kind of like, as soon as things got crazy, like she was super fascinated, kind of like scribbling, and then like kind of her better judgment overtook her freaking out about it. And she was like, oh, Delian zombies. And she was like, oh, Delian zombies. And then she left. So the two students are up with Joss, and they're starting to kind of like head back. And they're kind of like looking at the wreckage of all these goblins as they're like leaving. Joss is he kind of spits on one of them as they're leaving. Filthy little buggers.
Man, I think it's time for a collective nap. I think we had a long day.
I mean, but none of us actually got injured or anything.
You actually can't nap. It's like literally you just woke up. It's like 8 in the morning.
What a morning.
Yeah.
What a day. Oh, man.
Wow, that was oh man, like what an hour.
Well, I head back outside and release my squirrel to go back to his family, because I don't just carry all of these animals around with me at all times. I just get whatever I want when I want it. And I have decided that the spider is going to stay, and it's starting to make me a little barrette with a web to hold my hair back.
And Jakuba, as you're kind of disappointed, you're kicking kind of these like kind of goblins as you're walking out. You do find like they did have some of their own kind of belongings. They had like 30 silver kind of among all these goblins. There's a whole host of like little kind of crappy rusted swords, but the bugbear that you fought, the bigger, furrier goblin, his big sword, it's kind of like almost intentionally rusted. It kind of has like it looks like tetanus personified as you're looking on it. You're able to take it if you want it. If you decide to use that one.
Yeah. I'll take it.
All right, so you're able to kind of you have enough carry weight. You're big enough to where you can't use both, but you're able to carry both. So you now have 2 of the swords, and the party kind of collectively found 40 silver, and then you find on the main big goblin as you're leaving, he had kind of a belt pouch that had 3 kind of like greenish gems that he seemed to have been collecting. And so, do you guys like make it out of the little cave, all right, or like are you leaving? I'm not sure what you guys are doing there. Like totally leaving.
I'm already outside.
All right, you're already out. All right, so that's what you.
I am. I'm gonna go around to all of the students that are left and ask about Jessica. And if anyone knows him or where he might have gone or who he might associate with.
Myrna, the historian, she almost takes on like a Mean Girls catty vibe, and she starts to kind of talk about like he was weird, like kind of kept to himself. No one ever really talked about like to him. He seemed to not really socialize with the rest of us. Kind of looked down on us. And then Albrecht, the male student, he starts to like, yeah, he was always kind of like locked away in his study working on something. Seemed to, and when the school got a hold of the gem and they tried to work with it and figure it out, he looked obsessed with it, and I suppose, as Joss said, it left when he did, so we can just assume that we think he took it.
Does he have any family in surrounding areas?
He's like, we're from all over. We travel far and wide to come to this, well, what was once a school. So I'm not sure where he might have resided. He didn't really talk about. I'm ashamed to say we didn't really get to know each other very well. He kept to himself. We kind of kept to ourselves. He was a bit of a loner at school.
I'm going to ask around if anyone has heard any rumors of like a necromancer's den.
A den?
Ask around.
A flock of necromancers?
Are you asking about? Are you asking just these guys, or are you like traveling back to the school with everybody? Is that your intention?
No, I'm just asking. I'm assuming we're all still like in the vicinity of these students. So I'm like with the students, like asking just the group.
They're like, no, we. That's why the gem was such a failure. Is necromancy is kind of it's a forbidden practice. We don't. It's not. It's unsavory. It's not respectable. But so research on the gem.
Like, is there like an unsavory necromancer bar around here?
I ask if anyone has anything that could have been his, or like that smelled like him, or that they knew belonged to him, or that could be his back at the school, because either I will turn myself into a bloodhound and we will sniff this guy down, or Lindsay, I think, someone's a tracker. Isn't somebody a tracker? Somebody can track stuff. Rangers?
Lindsay's a ranger. She has some kind of tracking thing she can do, yeah. So,
wait, can I turn myself into things yet, or no?
Yeah, you're level 2, you can do that.
Okay, well, I will turn myself into a bloodhound.
Like imagining like a big droopy.
Yeah, my jowl juice.
Yeah. So as you, they're like, oh, we're not sure if we have anything here, but maybe back at the school, like maybe something of his survived. Yeah. That as they look as this halfling just turned into a dog. They're both surprised and some, but they've also seen a thing or two being magical students, so they're like kind of like, oh, nice polymorph. Yeah. And
I'm like, now that we've wasted this frivolous time on getting this sword, let's go find this dude who's trying to destroy the forest.
Right.
We already checked the school, because that was the first, like, the burning ruins that we came across, right? Or was
but we weren't looking for anything of his particularly.
I mean, we could backtrack, or we could go look for this research facility that they mentioned a couple.
The research facility is the school. That's just kind of same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it burned down. Castamere.
Riel's hoping for some shred of unburned, smelly thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smelly things. Yeah, there's a lot of smelly things in the goblin. That's what you smell. You just overpowering scent of unwashed goblin coming from the cave. So like that lingers in your mind.
Oh,
so,
man.
Do you intend to backtrack to the school then?
Did we already search?
I mean, we have to safely deliver them anyway.
Yeah, you guys searched the goblins. You found probably, I think it was like the 40 silver between you guys, and then a pouch of 3 gems on the big guy, green. Of unknown origins, you're not sure exactly what they are, what they're worth, just 3 gems. And then Cody grabbed the bugbear's sword.
And it's rusty, you get tetanus.
It's really, yeah, it's like almost intentionally. Kind of has like barbed wires and everything kind of wrapped around it, like spines and spikes.
Ugh.
And
I do a memory check to see if I remember if the school paid us to go find these people yet or not. I can't remember if they paid us.
I'm
Am I still under contract?
I don't think they paid you up. I don't remember if they paid you. You have to check your inventory. I don't remember if they paid you up front. So, but yeah, I think they did mention to Jakuba. They said like, yeah, if you find these students, they would intend to pay.
Yeah.
They said they would try to collect like something for him.
Yeah, kind of collect from the wreckage.
Contract. So I'm on a single set line. I want to head back to the school.
So as you guys kind of like travel back, it's a bit slower going as Joss doesn't walk very well, but you're able to kind of like make your way like kind of uneventfully through the forest. It's about midday, kind of the sun. You guys kind of stop, share your lunch, kind of like break a little bit, and then continue on. And a little closer to dusk, you guys reach the remnants of the school. The fire's all put out now, and they seem to be kind of like starting to gather up. You see piles of books and artifacts, just things they might have salvaged from the wreckage. And you see kind of probably 20, 30 of them like milling about there.
Can I still talk, or do I just sound like a dog now?
You're a dog.
You're a dog.
Yeah, you're a dog.
They knew,
If Lindsay
they knew
casts,
the purpose of me being a dog, so somebody best go ask about this.
Lindsay can speak to you using her speak to animals spell. So
I don't
yeah.
have that one. I didn't use that one.
So she didn't pick that one, so no, she can't understand you. If you
No one can understand.
You a dog.
You dog. You can communicate. Dogs are very expressive with their eyebrows, so you can. So as what's that?
Trying to like soothe her.
Hold on, there's a lot of people talking, so like one at a time here. What was that, customer?
So, I mean, can she willingly switch back, or is it just...
She does switch back. There is a time limit to it, but I'm going to say that for the sake of... Because she kind of like just turned for the story, so we'll say like she turned as she reached here to kind of search out something. Typically, I think it lasts half your druid level an hour, so like... I think it's like 1 hour. But we'll say for the sake of it, so you didn't burn it wastefully, then you kind of use it here. Or you can save it and then use it like after you find the thing.
Can I cast? I mean, as the Patronus thing, can I be a dog? Can I have a dog cast?
Yeah, but I don't think it would. I don't. Maybe I'd have to think of something for that, but I don't think it would be able to bloodhound detect anything. It's just.
But like, if I cast like as the wolf or something, like they have really good like tracking skills.
Yeah, but the spirit just enhances you, so I don't think you would have a spirit to do that. I think you would have to be the bloodhound if you wanted to do that. So you guys are approaching these, like the kind of students and teachers and remnants of this group, kind of filling everything out. Jakuba, you said you were single track minded, so you kind of like walk right up to the guy that sent you on the quest.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I show him my bugbear blade, and I told him, I was like, "We have done what you asked. Now it's time for you to do what you have promised me."
He looks up and he's just like, I see. He's like, it's a terrible looking rusty piece of junk you have there. I don't see what you're talking. And then as he's kind of like taken aback, and then as he looks and he sees Jost come up, and he's just like, oh, well, you found them. I cannot believe it. Yes. I think we discussed some sort of payment. And he goes and he's kind of like looking around, kind of shaking down some of the other students, looking at kind of the salvage stuff. He's like, we don't have much in the way of coin. Student loans are terrible, so. But he's like, here we have, and he gives kind of like to each of you. He passes out 10 gold, kind of like he presses into each of your hands. And if Brielle's still a dog, I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna save being a dog until I actually have a scrap of this dude's stuff.
Okay, so then they hand it. So each of you get 10 gold.
I walk over to the to Jakuba as he's getting the gold and snatch it out of his hand, and I'm like, you can have this because I'm the one that rescued him. You can have this when we find this dude.
What's Jakuba think about that?
Are you telling me she took my gold?
Brielle, did you take his gold?
I took it, but I'm more like just in his face being like, find this dude and you can have this one and mine.
You wouldn't hurt a dog.
I look around. I look around for some kind of tether to make a makeshift leash out of it.
I'm not a dog yet.
She's not a dog yet.
Oh, you're not. Oh,
Yeah, she's saving the dog thing till she gets to it.
Yeah,
I
Jakuba.
look around to
okay.
find a makeshift leash. I'll do that.
All right, you're able to kind of find.
My gold goes very. Nobody who has my gold goes very far away from me.
Unless you're a zombie.
Unless there's zombie, yeah. I'm still sore about that.
Yeah, you're still literally sore as the kind of claw mark on your arm.
As soon as I run into the undead, I'm like, just like, wimpy.
I don't like it.
Shane, does everyone start with 0 gold, or does everyone have like a small little balance they start with? Because I had 0.
They probably would have some. It's just we never did the full character. Because full character creation can take literally 2 hours in its own. We're figuring out all that stuff. So we're kind of like as we're going. So I will say, Jakuba, Bards actually do have a bit of gold, so I'm gonna have used these things. So we'll just kind of say Jakuba and his mercenary life at 11.
Are you drinking
You had
coffee, bud?
14 gold and 20 silver and 50 copper. Jakuba.
I'm drinking.
And then you also, Veruca, have 14 gold, 50 silver, and 50 copper. I guess I have to mark that for you. Okay.
I can write it down.
Yeah, I'll put it on here.
So how do so I need to put down my amount now and roll 20?
Yeah, and add 10 as well. So in addition to the number I told you, you add 10 gold.
Oh man, this is so.
So I currently have 20 gold because I stole Jakuba's until he helped me.
Yeah, but you might soon have zero.
Shane.
You might just think
Yeah. What's that, Lindsay?
Would that be under inventory?
Yeah, it's in inventory. There's a thing at the top that's like SP, CP. CP is copper, SP is silver, GP is gold, and don't worry about the other ones.
I mean, I don't know what I have, but I don't care about gold. I just want Jakuba to be useful for once.
Yeah, I would say with your background, you probably wouldn't care about gold, so you don't really have much. You probably have like a little bit. And then Castamere has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gold in addition to the 10 he got, so 22 gold. I'm going to add for that. Plus the 5, 27. Dominique. And then as a ranger, you get slightly less gold. You're not as focused on acquiring wealth as some of the other classes. But you still roll pretty high, so you have 9 in addition to the 10 that you just got.
She likes her food.
Yes. So you have 19 gold, and then you still have this silver. I'll probably give you some more copper. Alright,
I
alright.
see. You
Kind of
just
remember that we did.
added-
Yeah, we did that stuff there. Okay. So yeah, as you kind of what's that?
What do I roll to put a leash on Brielle?
Does she want to have a leash?
No, I
But
can
I-
roll something to
As long as
escape the
Jakuba's-
leash.
We'll say that Jakuba also has a chance to because he probably wouldn't want you to take his gold. So if you just have his gold, then you're in a leash. But if you want to have an interaction here, then we do like a contested roll to see if you took his gold.
As far as Jakuba is aware, she is a thief.
You could also just be like you could be like, I didn't take the gold, but I'm offering my gold as well. And then being like, you better help us, Jakuba.
Okay, I don't take it, but what I do is smack it out of the student's hand so he doesn't immediately get it, and tell him he best be helping us because right now he's been a whole lot of useless, and he's been the one that caused all the problems, so he needs to get his head out of his butt, and then he can have my gold when we find this guy.
Jakuba looks down, and there's a little figure that comes up to his like kneecap.
Goblin bites all over my body, and like the blow I took, like the big bruise from the bugbear.
All of which you caused!
Had to have the gold.
What?
It was literally Jakuba like holding back the horde of goblins from getting the rest of the party, but they didn't see any of it.
Accident!
Yeah, Brielle did not see any of that. She ran off. So as far as Brielle knows, none of that happened to her.
As far as I know, me and Veruca are the ones who rescued the guys, and I assume from what I've seen of Jakuba, he didn't do much.
Shane, what do I roll to try and decipher the squeaks I hear by my ankles?
Alright, so we're gonna say as you guys as that little interaction. So Jakuba, you have been offered more gold to assist. Very rudely, very rudely.
Yeah. Who's the person that offered this mission to us?
He's like kind of
mission.
He's not quite the headmaster. He's just like another teacher, kind of like with a pointed beard, kind of like black hair, younger, definitely younger than Joss. Joss actually hobbles over and he looks at his like ruined tower. He like grabs his hair that's not there, and then he's like, "Oh no, years!" And he's like kicking the dust, and then he's like scrounging through, and he's able to come out, and he's like, "At least some of them survived." And he comes over, and he's like, I'm I'm not much in the business of thanking any of that nonsense, sentimental bullshit. But here, you saved my skin, so maybe this will save yours. And he hands you guys 3 normal health potions.
Ooh.
Nice.
So someone can be the keeper. You can distribute them however you want to
Three
determine.
what?
Health potions. They're like little magic potions that will heal. And as Brielle's kind of looking around and asking about, I'm kind of trying to hurry stuff a little bit. It's getting a little late here, but with I'm assuming you guys are trying to like ask around about the student that went astray.
Yes.
Yep.
So as you guys are asking around about Jessica, some of them, a lot of them, most of them are like, no, they don't know much about him. They keep repeating the same. He was weird, strange, kind of kept to himself. Not much of a.
So maybe we should ask him the other strange people that are there at the school.
The other strange people?
Yeah.
What other
People
strange
aren't
people?
usually all alone. Maybe there's other strange people who know him.
So you actually, like, as you're asking, there is a couple that kind of direct you to. They do say that he did kind of keep to himself, but some of them are do know kind of where his stuff was, like where his own personal chamber. Like, I'm not sure what survived the fire, but you're certainly welcome to check it out. And you're able to go and like look, and you find kind of like the student dormitory section, kind of like it's a lower section, kind of like barracks, kind of like segmented, not very roomy, but each one would have had like their own individual student dormitory, and they lead you to one. It looks like it did have the fire to it, but it doesn't look as ravaged as everything else. As you guys are able to, actually, as you get to this door, like they try it. As you actually try this door, it seems to be kind of like locked from the outside. Like, it's against regulation to put locks in these things. I don't know why I can't open it.
Unlock it.
I kick the door down.
Okay. Yeah, do a strength check on it.
You'll get it like 1.
It's an athletics check, Cody. Athletics roll. So it's that plus.
Do you want me to roll up an athletics thing?
Yeah.
There's still a room standing. I thought everything was just burned.
Not everything. It's like because of stone. Like this one seemed to be less touched by the fire. So as you kind of like make this resounding crack onto the door, Jakuba, like the locked door, weakened by the heat of the fire, kind of like rumbles, shakes, and shatters as he kicks it down, and his foot just goes right through the weakened wood, and then like kind of boom, like a big chunk of it's out, and then he kicks like another, just boom, and like he's able to pry enough of a hole to let the smaller people through, as he's a little bit bigger to enter himself.
And I peek an eye through.
I just walk in. I don't even have to bend over.
All right, so she just kind of strolls right in, and you see it's at first glance definitely just the seems to be like a dormitory for a student. There's like a bedroll, a desk, some scattered papers, many of them curled and blackened by the fire. Everything smoke charred but not burned to obscurity, it looks like.
I'm going to start collecting some papers to see if there's anything in there.
Okay, so you're looking at trying to shuffling through these reams of papers, and I'm going to do an investigation check for you. Veruca.
Do we know that this is actually what's-his-face's room? Like, did we confer with the students and ask if this was his room?
They did. Yeah, they did direct you. As you asked, most of them confirmed, like, yeah, they didn't really know him personally, but they knew where he would be. Kind of like So Veruca, I'm terrible at rolling for you. So you got an 8. So you're shuffling through these papers. You did collect a bunch, but you can't really seem to make heads or tails. A lot of it seems to be almost written in very tiny, scribbled script, almost manic, what you can make out. A lot of it doesn't seem to make sense.
I'm still taking it with me.
Okay. And does anyone else look around the room?
It seems like the bedroom.
And where do they look?
Yeah.
I take his pillowcase for future sniffing purposes.
That sounded weird.
Oh, I just remembered
I
that
do
you
that
were-
all the time.
how you did that.
Future sniffing purposes.
Okay. Anyone else look around or do anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna check. I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of give the whole room kind of a once over.
Okay, so you look around, like you see kind of like a writing desk, his bedroll, the strewn papers that Veruca's kind of collecting, and like a trunk of personal belongings, it looks like.
Might be some future sniffing stuff there.
Yeah, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look for like any kind of like hidden compartments in the floorboards.
Okay, you can do a perception, or investigation or perception, your choice. Either one of those would work here.
Investigation.
I want to search the belongings for like any kind of herbs or potion kind of things he would have.
Okay, so go ahead and do your perception / investigation. Castamere, as you're looking through these, like, kind of like, intuition kind of directs you to the floorboards, knowing that's where many people hide things that don't want to be found. And as you're kind of looking, you find one that is actually loose. And as you're kind of like pulling on it, you're able to find what looks like a small booklet that was untouched by the fire. Oh, Brielle, that was a good one. So, Brielle, as you're looking through, you find some alchemical vials. You find an alchemist's fire vial. You can add that to your inventory in the personal belongings, as well as 2 vials of acid. You find just acid, just acid. It's an item. You can throw it on stuff or in enemies. You find clothes as well, like both worn and new, and they seem to be less touched by the fire as they were protected by the chest. And
I think is the chest something that we can carry?
Yeah, it's heavy, but Jakuba's able to carry it. Jakuba, you're able to, like, in your hands, it's not, it's a little hefty, but you're able to kind of carry it if you wish.
Okay, so since I found this book, I mean, obviously I'm going to open it up and just kind of skim through it just to see what I can see.
So as you're kind of like flipping through it, it details. It starts as almost like Diary of a Sad Schoolboy, like kind of like he feels like an outsider. He feels like he's not being taken seriously. He's frustrated that no one is recognizing his. They seem to be forcing him to do the grunt work of all the other people, not recognizing his genius that is clear and apparent. It should be clear and apparent to everybody. And as you kind of flip through and see the progression of him, you see the moment where he notices the introduction of the gem to the student body, to the researchers, and he becomes fascinated with it. As you flip through the book, it's detailing the kind of like focus and almost obsession that he has with it, and it starts to outline a plan as you keep flipping through it. And he talks about, he actually sees drawings of it, the idea of taking the gem and fastening it to like a focusing circlet, like you can see like a headband almost, like a circlet, a diadem, a tiara kind of, but like more fastened. Yeah, like not like the princess one, but like a headband with a gem in the middle, and the gem would be the focusing. And he outlines the magic runes it would take to try to focus it and keep it more intact. And it details a plan. He goes on about needing to hide the evidence and mentions that he knows of this pack of goblins nearby that he might be able to barter with to get rid of the evidence of his crime, as well as the unbelievers and fools that didn't trust or accept his greatness.
Well, we already killed them goblins. Except for that one that ran away.
Yeah.
One did get away.
And so, Braille, you're able to find something that definitely, even on your halfling form, it was protected by this from the smoke, and it smells like gym, like a high school gym, if you've ever been.
Oh, that kind of gem.
Yeah, it's
I thought you said gem like a jewel, like it smelled like a jewel, and I was like, what?
No, it's just kind of like basically some sweat socks.
Gross. So
Jessica smells like sweat socks.
As he's holding this.
But I mean, now she's got the scent, right?
Yeah, if she wants to. Yeah, Braille, do you want to do the plan you had before?
You want to turn into a dog?
if it only lasts for an hour, like we're not going to get very far in the forest. So if I have to turn back, like how long again till I can use that again?
You can use it instantly. It's just you only get 2 per day. 2 transformations.
2 hours. Like a day, like if we have a rest again, it's fine, or it has to be a long rest?
The short rest recharge, which I think is ridiculous.
Okay.
Like, personal judgment is busted. But what's that?
Does she have something that has his scent? So I could turn into one if she turns back out. If we run out of hers, can I turn into one? And
The bards, that is a druid thing. You are not able to turn into animals.
I thought I could turn into anything.
You can disguise yourself as something that looks kind of like you. Like it's like an illusion magic. Yeah, it's like illusion
You can
magic.
look like it, but you could disguise yourself as like a freaking bear and scare people, but you're not actually a bear.
It needs to kind of it needs to resemble you, like 2 arms, 2 legs, humanoid-ish. You can kind of look a little taller, look a little shorter, but not anything wildly outside of your general
Look
proportions.
a little greener.
So I can turn into
I've got that.
not a dog.
Yeah, you'd be a very small ogre compared. Like you wouldn't be able to turn 12 foot tall, but you could look like probably like if you're, I think it's like a 9 foot tall. You could look taller, but if they like passed above your head with their hand, nothing would be there because it's like illusions.
But the bottom line is it's an illusion. I don't have the actual.
Yes, it's just an illusion, and it has to be general proportions. So, Brielle, as you kind of like just poof, you're this basset bloodhound looking thing. The smell of smoke is very strong, kind of overpowering the scent around the area you're in. Do you?
Well, so I leave, so I don't smell the smoke. I
So
gotta
as
go
you-
smell my gym socks.
So as this, the students just see a halfling go in with a big group and a bloodhound just kind of bound out. They look a little confused, just feeling, we're not supposed to keep animals in the dormitory. And so you run out, and as a smell of smoke carries you kind of head towards the forest, and the sock smell that you had smelled before. I want you to do a perception with advantage. So you roll twice and take the highest number.
Perception. Perception, I found it.
Okay, you can roll again with eyes, and that's a pretty good roll. So go ahead and roll again, just I want to see what happens. But if it's lower, we take the 18.
I gotta find it again.
Okay. So you do find the scent, but I want to see how well you find the scent. So all right, the first one. So Brielle, you're able to sniff the scent, and I'm not sure how dogs visualize it, but you are able to kind of find you're kind of sniffing along the ground, and you can tell that this guy wasn't big on showers, as you can kind of like sense his
Is
lingering
everybody else
odor.
just following me, or is I'm just running through the forest as a dog? Like
You're outside of the center, the student facilities, and does everyone follow her? Yeah, I want to know what they're doing.
You best follow me.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, so everyone kind of like runs out, and you're able to pick up this scent as it leads into a specific direction in the forest, and you're quickly just following it as you're able to kind of like move through, and as you get closer into the forest, it is getting darker from the traveling that took you to get to the research center there. So the light is fading a bit as you're following the scent. And as you get closer and closer, you've been traveling. At your hurried pace, you're able to make it quite a distance. And the smell starts to sour. It starts to go... a new scent starts to linger and come into focus as the smell of man fades and the smell of death and decay fills your nostrils.
Ooh, I'm gonna get angry soon.
And as you keep following the sail, the scent just keeps transitioning from the smell of man to the smell of death and aberration. And as you get closer, you start to see again the signs of withered plants and dead insects, and even smaller animals like birds having fallen from the sky.
How many of those are you going to put in your pocket?
I currently don't have pockets, but it is a whole lot of resistance on my part to continue trying to find this guy instead of digging up holes to bury all my little friends.
And then there'll be a lot of them. Because as you get closer, it's almost like you can see progression as like the outer edges were just plants losing their color and smaller insects dying. As you get closer, larger, like birds falling. The plants themselves are withered. It's almost like a blast radius from the center, and you're getting closer and closer to the center. And as you keep approaching, the grass it's totally dry and desiccated. And as you pass by it withers and kind of crumbles to dust. And even the animal corpses are more bone and just mummified flesh, rather, as you get closer and closer. And then the night is like becoming more dark. It's becoming darker as the sun's fading in this forest, as you guys are hurriedly kind of like seeing the horrors as you're getting closer. And you hear, like in the distance, a growl of a bear, as Brielle recognizes it, but it has a undertone to it, a separate voice, almost like doesn't sound like a natural bear.
So, but I'm the only one that heard the bear?
Everyone's with you, right? You all hear the bear, yeah. If everyone's with you.
Do we see the bear?
As you look around in the darkness, yeah, you see the bear, because it is coming at you guys. It's as it's kind of like you're looking around.
Right.
So as you're kind of like looking around, you see this like hulking. From a distance, it looks just like a bear. It's a just big brown fur on it, like running towards you. And as it gets closer, you can see it's like patches of fur missing, patches of skin missing. Like its jaw hangs a little loose. Like one of its eyes is missing. Like bones kind of peek from beneath its fur. And as it runs up and like rears up and stands 12 feet tall and roars.
I change back to a hobbit and ask it, try to communicate with it, and ask, like, try to calm it down and ask if it knows why it's suddenly a zombie.
I could start playing some music, calm it
So
down.
as you attempt to communicate with this bear, no recognition, no sense of understanding passes its eyes, and
Even
it
with
actually
the music?
and
It's about to get hairy.
yeah,
I was just trying to play it to sleep. Can she do
Or
that?
calm it, soothe it.
it it's yeah, it just seems no like recognition. Its eyes are unfocused and I don't seem to even see.
It's high.
I
And,
draw my new
So Asbrail's actually talking to it. It does not, as it rears up and she attempts to reason with it. It makes a swipe at her. And
Me?
yeah.
It's a zombie.
Do I have to roll something?
No. Well, yeah. Do a dexterity saving throw really quick. I'm rolling damage. Let's see if you, because combat hasn't officially started. So go ahead and do a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity.
That's like you're dodging out of the way.
Stealth?
No, dexterity saving throw. It's on your character core stats, like on the main
Core
page.
Where it says Dex? Save?
Yeah.
Aha!
I hope you make it. So it makes a swipe with its claws, and she's trying to reason what she interpreted as just a bear, and it just does not accept any sort of communication. And too late she recognizes that it is no longer a bear of any sort, and its claw comes down and bats her out of the way, and she goes flying 10 feet in one direction and rolls and takes 9 damage. Roll initiative.
I only got 10.
Roll initiative.
Well, I'm out for the game.
You have 1 HP. You're still active.
I said for the game. I mean, I'm not gonna do nothing else. What?
We're
Wait.
done trying.
Quick check. Is everyone still awake and wanting to do something, or is it like this is a good stopping point? Right. Just like a quick little do. I can't tell.
Stopping point soon.
I really have to pee.
All right. Well, it's kind of late, so we'll just say that so we'll cliffhanger here as this undead bear. You can clearly see now as it's closer. It's no longer alive, yet still animated. And
I
Brielle,
put the brand on my wrist, and I growl back at the bear.
and Brielle has attempted to reason as her better instinct would want to reason with a creature of the forest, but it is no longer of the forest. And she is smacked to the side for 9 damage. And that's what we'll end the session for tonight.
Okay, I'm taking a picture.
Okay. A picture?
Next time on
Next time
D&D.
on Dragon Ball Z.
Family D&D.
Family
Yeah.
D&D.
And apparently Margaret just never existed.
She's off doing her thing. I'll just have her character be like a wandering person that shows up if she comes in.
I mean,
She'll be like, she'll be like, Milera Trismora.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. That's mom. That's what mom does.
I didn't show up.
I mean,
Yeah.
she would come in handy. She's a freaking healer.
Yeah, she's a cleric. And also clerics are really good at fighting undead. I kind of built this thing with her in mind, so that's fun. But yeah. Oh well, you guys will be fine.
I just got killed by a zombie bear.
You're at 1
Not
HP.
dead yet.
You're not dead.
I'm gonna eat before we hang up, I'm gonna eat my 3 good berries so I have 4 HP.
We'll say like as your action rolling, just like scarfing. Like each time you bounce the ground, you like pop up and eat a berry, and bounce and roll and eat another berry. All right, so you ate your berry. You ate all your berries, so you're out of berries, and we'll say that you ate 3, so you're at 4 HP. So mark yourself at 4.
I have 4, and then I took the berries out of my inventory.
All right, and yeah. So that's where I end because I woke up at 6, so I'm tired. But that was fun, Lindsay. That was a cool moment with the sword.
Lindsay, you need to keep your internet doing whatever it's doing currently.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with it.
The
Yeah,
only time I lost you was when you got up and left.
and I need to figure out my voice changer I spent money on. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It was such a cool moment. I was like, oh, I was so excited for it.
You
I
must
wanna
do.
say, do you swear?
Do you swear?
Do you swear
I
to
think
uphold?
Yeah,
It gave Lindsay time to think about what she was upholding.
I feel like we should have had more. I should have let Lindsay. We're like, all right, 10-minute break as Lindsay thinks about her character.
Yeah. Bathroom break as Lindsay evaluates her morals.
Yeah.
What am I swearing to? Yeah, really.
But yeah, next session I'll actually have my mic. Like these headphones are not doing it for me. I don't like it.
I got a camera now.
Yeah.
I think I know why my internet was doing better.
Why is your internet doing better?
Because I think that my internet slows down once I've gone over a certain amount of data, and now I've started over the cycle.
Oh, that's
So it's like-
super dumb. That's terrible. Just get on AT&T,
Right.
Lindsay. Talk to mom. Get on AT&T again.
I think AT&T does the same thing.
Yeah, but we have 50 gigs,
It
I
just
think, on this
depends on the
plan.
plan you're on.
Yeah, we have a lot more
Yeah,
data. Like, I think you said yours was like 5 or 10, and I think AT&T is... I think we have a lot more on that one.
Plus, everybody else has Wi-Fi except you, so they don't use it as much.
Yeah.
You're not using
True.
Wi-Fi?
No,
I'm
she's
using my phone. My
Yeah, she's on data. She doesn't have Wi-Fi. She doesn't have a TV either.
Wow. Wow, Lindsay.
Okay, Shane.
She's basically
Coming to the
Amish.
Century.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, all
Wow.
that costs money. Ask Jakuba to give you some of his gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll like try to give gold, and then Braille like smacks it out. It's like, no gold until forest is safe.
Until the forest
If Jakuba
is
was a
safe.
barbarian, if Jakuba was a barbarian, he would be in a rage.
Also, I set up a little moment for Casimir to pick the lock, like that was in there, and Cody's like, I kicked the door down. there was like a tension between the two Codys. I'm like, oh yeah,
Cody,
Casimir the thief can use his
I'm
lockpick.
always at odds with your road character because I'm like my character. I'm like I charge in, but like I have to like take it back. I'm like no, he has to sneak in. He has to do his scouting. I
But
really want to charge in.
that can work. That can work. Like he can let you do the dumb things as he repositions himself. You're a distraction.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Which
guys
is
work
why
to.
Jakuba doesn't get any gold.
Well, I feel like
All eyes on Jakuba.
Jakuba's going to be like a great tool for you as a DM because he's just going to create encounters for us.
Yeah,
So,
True, he does.
yeah.
you know, or get himself. Like honestly, Cody, I don't want to kill your characters, but I didn't see many ways out from you. Like every roll was bad. I'm like, you might need to re-roll. You're level 2, dude. Like, yeah.
Haladin was about to make an appearance. Shane.
I know. I'm like, I have a backup character because that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so great though. I'm just like every possible moment is like screaming. It's like, oh man, well, you almost made it out, but Jakuba's green. Yeah.
It's funny. No one's asked me why Jakuba wants money. They just assume
Why
They
he's
just assume-
greedy.
That's right.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
So why
Interesting.
does Jakuba want money?
That's out of game, Lois.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta ask me in
So
game.
Cody, why
Next
does
time we're at a
this
campfire.
Jakuba want money?
Yeah.
All you do in game is grunt.
Ooh,
Uh-huh,
ooh,
uh-huh.
uh-huh.
We need to do some backstory on Jakuba.
Yeah.
You know,
And Dominique-
Jakuba, if you wrote your backstory, we might know more about you.
But maybe he doesn't want to tell you. It's not a thing to be read.
Yeah, I'm not a book.
Yeah. But
You're a
Dominique,
book, you're just not an open book.
Called Goliath with
Yeah.
feelings
yeah, Jakuba.
and a heart.
And
And then-
hunger. And greed.
Yeah.
And Dominique, I want you to think about because like the sword would not have accepted you unless you were someone. So I think you this gives you an opportunity to kind of develop Dominique in a direction that would fit in line with the. And it can be whatever. Like it's not like you necessarily have to follow like oh, this town's local ordinances or blah blah blah. It's not like lawful. It's like you have to have a code of ethics that is stronger to you than like outside forces, and then you are focusing on the common good.
Okay.
So that kind of gives you some direction of where you want to take Dominique as a person.
I think that like building character development is just neat because it sort of is like an outlet for I don't know. Just like that's a good question that
Yeah.
I think that I'm gonna like.
Well, that's cool. Makes you think. And I actually want to get. There's like books for teaching D&D to kids, because like it's kids have all this wonderful imagination that we kind of lose a little track of when we get older. But it's like there's all this research and studies on role playing games, like for kids growing up, as it focuses their crazy role playing in like a more directed way and allows a lot of like interaction between like parent and kid or whatever. And I think
Mom
it does
says that
there's a lot of cool.
John is playing it in his therapy home.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because like yeah, just do it.
What?
He's not that little anymore.
Well, there's John Shafel.
No, I'm
So he's-
talking about John. I see what you're saying, but he's
Yeah.
he's like
Yeah.
13 now.
I immediately thought of John Shafel, and I was like, wow, he's in a home?
Little John's in a home.
Yeah.
No, John. Well, they're both John Shafel. Hawaiian John.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That doesn't live in Mom's house anymore is in a group therapy home thing, and he plays D&D there as like a way to try and. It's like they're trying to use it to get him to open up more in a way about the past and stuff.
I can see
That'd
that.
be interesting
Huh.
to have to try and interpret what he's doing.
Yeah. Like if he was like, I'm gonna rush in and just stab everybody, then you're like,
Hey.
Or if you decide
That's
you're
what
going to
Jakuba
be
does.
like a sexy ogre.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like. What does that have to say about Jakuba?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Wouldn't it be interesting to be the shrink who's trying to figure it all out?
yeah, we should have a shrink evaluate our D&D group sessions.
That'd be scary.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
I think
What would they say
hopefully
about you, Lois, being a sexy goblin? Come on
I
now.
don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
they would say that's good. That's good creativity. That's ingenuity. Like
That's not in game. I can't tell you.
it's like adapt, survive, overcome.
So they're Marines. Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yeah, that's the one. But it's like yeah, you guys hopefully would become like a super trooper. It's like the Fellowship of the Ring, but way dumber. Like that's how D&D ends up feeling.
Well, the sword kind of sounded like a cross between the ring and the sword. So
Yeah. Lois, you can't talk. Have you seen Lord of the Rings? Yeah, that was your homework. But
Yeah,
what do you know
Lois,
about the ring?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
and see, and
Go
yet
do your homework.
See,
The ring actually doesn't talk. It just
my precious.
makes creepy whispery sounds.
Lord of the Rings
The
isn't
ring
on
does
Netflix.
talk.
It's not anymore?
No, I went to go look at it.
I thought it
It's
was.
not on Netflix.
Well, that's
Well, they're releasing it in 4K soon.
They're doing what now?
Wow.
I don't have a TV in 4K, so
That doesn't mean you can't watch it in regular K.
it's not on.
I bet I'm about to find out where to stream Lord of the Rings. I bet Amazon Prime. Someone got it. It has to be somewhere.
It was on
Yeah, maybe
Netflix.
Amazon
I don't.
has
It's
it.
probably on Disney now,
Oh yeah, they own everything.
which I also have, but you know.
Disney Plus sounds so fun.
It's good. It's pretty
I don't
good.
wanna start
That's good.
anything on Disney Plus, but I like Apple. They've got some good shows.
I've watched all of the 90s Disney movies.
But see, that's because you were a kid in the 90s.
Oh, really?
Well, I've also watched all the nature documentaries on Disney Plus, and I've watched. The only thing I
That's
haven't watched
because-
is the new Mulan
That's because
you
you're
have to pay
Brielle
for
and
it.
you're like an animal freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridget, they have Pan's Labyrinth on Netflix.
I own Pan's Labyrinth. Well, yeah, I own that movie still. I love Pan's Labyrinth.
I've never seen that either.
Yeah, that's something I might watch like tonight, actually.
Lois doesn't watch anything good.
No, I don't. And the stuff I do watch doesn't keep my interest. So
Except This Is Us.
it's like I do like that. But the shows that are on all the other channels, it's like I watch about 10 minutes of it and then I'm like,
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah. On Facebook, or I'm on Instagram.
Nothing really holds my interest. I'll be looking up stuff on the internet that has nothing to do with anything.
I've got Cody
Yeah.
through 13 seasons of Supernatural in like 3 weeks.
Again, for the
Oh my
second.
gosh.
No, him. He hasn't watched any of it.
Oh, Cody had, or you're going to?
No, he already has. He
Yeah.
has one more season because they're airing the final 8 episodes ever in existence to ever be filmed next week.
Wow.
And do you love it, Cody?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's good.